What's good? It's your boy Majai Vernon J.K. Mr. Money Man, aka I do real estate, aka I'm an entrepreneur. Look, man, it's Monday morning. Well, actually, it's about Tuesday morning, man. It's 1:53 a.m. Uh, and I'm coming to give you the news, the blues, and the clues, man, to get your money right, get your life right, and ultimately put yourself in a position of winning. You know, uh, changing the paradigm, making that paradigm shift upstairs, man, to to get you in a different state, get you in a different state of mind, man. So um, I just got through listening to the social proof uh, uh, podcast, video interview of Grant Cardone, and um, the interview itself was very, very enlightening and inspiring, man. But it was the thing at the end of the video that forced me to do this little old recording, man. So um, David always says, social proof is actually going out doing something and actually bringing it back to those once you learn it from your community. So for anybody who know me, over the last literally, man, 2008, I've been into the real estate industry. Um, got my start wholesaling, wholesale plenty of deals, hundreds of properties, owner finance, subject twos, rehab. Haven't got into building yet, but I've took a house all the way down to the bare bones. I've did, you know, $20,000 additions, $30,000 additions. Literally did everything you can do to a property except for putting a pool in or something like that. Fill some in, never just, redone a pool. I was partnered with some people that done a pool. Me myself, I haven't. But I mean, that's just even that in itself. I mean, hey, I spent $70,000, $80,000 rehabbing houses. On top of purchasing it, so I mean, I've seen it all, done it all, and very aware of the concept and what it takes to actually build a house for that matter, as well as flipping houses, real estate in general, bought land, sold land, haven't just fully developed or anything like that, a whole neighborhood or anything like that, but understand the concept, man. So reason for this video is essentially I've made plenty of videos in the past, but this one here is just simply um, looking in the camera, man, and just giving y'all what I think it takes in order to get started flipping or just getting started in real estate. You know, while most may say, and I'm one of those who say, man, you definitely got to make up in your mind what it is that you want to do. Essentially, because that's where all the motivation, the grit, the rejection, the contemplation, the late nights, the early mornings, the get up after I've been knocked down, all that mentality is gonna come from you telling yourself by any means necessary. So everything that I just mentioned will happen. It's just a matter of when and how you respond to it. So that's first and foremost, man. While I'm also a firm believer in you just got to take action. While many of us have blueprints of what we believe is the correct method, life tends to throw you different circumstances. Life will put you in different scenarios that no one can prepare you for you individually. So just getting started and taking action is by far the best uh, thing that I can tell you. Just getting started. Now, there may be different shortcuts while you're in the process that different techniques work better than others. But nevertheless, man, getting started is at the forefront of it all. Now, me stepping back and saying, and I always like to break it down and just because everyone's situation is different, man, and I guess that's really why it's always been I'm so thorough, I believe, in the approach that I give to where I never have just one particular way to say go out and get a bag because everyone's situation is different. But now if we're just talking to someone who literally has no money, no experience, or anything like that, essentially no money. We're just gonna talk from the no money down standpoint. This is the person that I'm talking to right now. Literally, you're trying to figure out what the heck can I do to generate some money when I have no money, and only thing I got is a laptop and internet connection. Now that doesn't have to be at your location. That's the only thing that you have. Meaning, if you don't even have computer or internet at home, you can essentially go to a location and get that, whether that be a public library uh, or somewhere similar to that. Um, but I like to start with first you have to determine where it is, and you can literally pick up a map, drop a pin on it, and wherever it lands, as long as it's a community there or it's a population there, uh, essentially you should be able to get started in some form of real estate investing in that region, area, location. Now, that will also determine, how successful you can be depending on where that location is at. But nevertheless, you can get started. Um, and for me, it always starts the same way, utilizing all the free resources. So whether that be any free resource that gives you information relative to properties, land, ownership status, and phone numbers, this essentially is where I will begin. Um, I would literally, whether I went street by street, and typically I use sites like Google Maps, Zillow, Realtor.com, the county appraisal um, website, um, yellowpages.com, spookio.com. All these are very low or no money type of websites. Now, also utilizing social media. Social media is also a very efficient way to track down people. So, if you have to go back and listen to this and pick up these sites again, do what you need to do. I'm just going to continue to move forward. Maybe I'll mention them again, but you utilize these sites. And like I say, they're either, if one has a subscription fee, sign up for free. Sign up, take the trial or whatever you have to do in order to get to use these websites essentially. And if not, by any means, uh, utilize the free sites that you can. But I'm pretty sure from each one of those that I mentioned, there's free subscriptions or free information on every last one of those. So with the internet, man, there's definitely no excuse. Essentially, I would start from there, and with sites like Google Maps, once I pick my city, location, and things like that, I have my county website pulled up. I have my yellow pages. I have my social media. I have a tab for each one of these locations pulled up. I essentially will go door by door by door on a particular street that I'm on, searching all county records, searching um, plot land records or whatever I can get information on, I will literally search each individual until I stumble upon something that I can either find the owner's contact information, or um, I come across a determining factor that would indicate to me that this person might be a motivated seller. Now, one thing about it, with this particular method, this is essentially cold calling, cold leads 101. No one has indicated any type of uh, communication saying that they want to sell. So I will look at all of this as strictly cold leads. So I'm essentially going into these situations with an open mind and an open dialogue, uh, saying, such and such. Um, I'm looking for such and such, or hi, this is, may I speak to such and such? This is so on, and I'm calling in reference to this. Uh, if they confirm that that's who they is, you would then entail, uh, hey, I'm trying to see if you're still the owner of such and such property or such and such land, or, you know, if they confirm, then you move on to the next form of questioning. Hey, look, we're buying houses in the area. Have you thought about selling? Have you thought about seeing what you can get, what you can get for your property? And you essentially, go from there. Whether they confirm or deny, will lead to the next couple questions. But this is essentially how I would start from every single lead or property that I could potentially get information on. Now, um, from that point, it's just a matter of looking at the data that we get from sites like Zillow, and essentially, at this point, if money is a big concern, only thing you have going on for yourself is creativity. So let's just confirm that you've actually found a person and they're wanting to actually sell. Now, at this point, you have to get some good data to determine what you need to offer. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. Like I said, you can use sites like Zillow, Realtor.com. You know, I don't want to give you any CRM sites. I know a lot of people um, promote free trials on software, things like that. Well, one thing about these is you actually have to uh, credit card information, things like that, and then also um, the data might be limited as far as what you can do in the trial period. So I'm just strictly speaking on all free information. So with that being said, you have to get creative. So what I would do from that point, whether, like I mentioned, sites like Zillow essentially pulls all data that a multiple listing service, a site where all of retail properties or properties that have been sold by a realtor is listed, typically governed by certain criteria that you have to disclose certain information, things like that, once a property is listed by a realtor. So all that information is pretty much solid, concrete information. It do get skeptical at times, but Zillow pretty much piggybacks off of all that information, as well as information that's not listed on the MLS. So years ago it probably wasn't as best to use, but now I think the data is definitely a lot more compelling and beneficial, and you can use it to just kind of get a ballpark figure. So um, from that point, like I say, get creative. You know, hey, well, okay, glad to hear that. What I'll do is I'll do a little work, research. When will be a good time for me to contact you back? And don't leave the seller hanging. Like if it's an area you're not familiar with, just be honest. Like, okay, well, Glad to hear that. You might filter out the conversation a little bit more, kind of get more detailed about it, and tell them you'll call them back with a more inclusive offer. Uh, so, and this give you time to actually do some due diligence on the process. Go and do your homework. Reach out to. I would reach out to some realtors. One thing about Zillow, it's going to show you some realtors' phone numbers. It might even show you some past sales, and you just have to do the homework. You have to do the homework and reach out to some of the people that's listed. Reach out to them and just tell them like, hey, you're interested in buying this property. You got a seller that you're about to engage in and buying a property from, and you potentially want this person to list it. Once you fix it up or whatever, and just seeing if they could give you a good indication what you'll be able to sell it for. Reach out to the realtors, and just let them know like, hey, this is something that I'm doing. I'm new, I'm looking to get started, but I don't want to waste time. I want to provide value, and do you work with investors or kind of fill them out as well? So this will probably be your power team for that particular area. So, and you go from there. You put together your numbers, and then you essentially come back and you try to negotiate with the seller. But in the midst of all of this, this is kind of a elaborate, not as detailed, but I think from the information I'm sharing, you probably can grasp the concept of, can I do this literally with no money? Now, I've given you several different steps, as far as different places to go, different websites you should be able to utilize. Go back and replay it. Like, the information that's in the video. You can find all free sites. So if it took for me getting started with no money, I've literally just given you every method that you can use to actually acquire. Now, depending on what the realtor come back and tell you as far as what the houses are sell for, what's the going rate for fixed up houses, foreclosure houses, so on and so forth, then it's up to you at that point to come back to the seller and make an educated offer relative to what you're trying to make. Like I tell anybody and everybody, I still use the 70 cents on the dollar format, because at the end of the day, me and where I'm at in my business, no matter where anyone else is at, I still make offers relative to if I had to buy the property. Doesn't matter if I want to wholesale it or not. Only way I go outside of my theory and my formula is if it's in my backyard and I know what I can sell it for in an as-is state without doing anything to it. Other than that, I just won't do it. I start all my offers the same way, and I might go through more properties, but that's just me. You don't have to follow that format. It's a lot of people that's acquiring properties in the 80, 85. I sell to these people, so people are paying 85 cents on the dollar, depending on the type of property that you are advertising or putting out for sale. So I just start mine the same way, and I'm telling you, most companies actually start out the same way as well. It's just what's the price that they tell you that they're selling for. So now we are in a buyer's market, so you can adjust those numbers. I'm just telling you how I start out. I plug everything in my spreadsheet, and I go from there. So at that point, whether you go back and forth with your offer, one thing I say, you stick to the formula. You can never go wrong, because you'll have your maximum allowed offer. And anybody who doesn't tell you how to calculate a maximum price offer pretty much is setting you up for failure, man. Like I just don't know any other way to give the information without telling you, like, look, you got to factor in repairs, you got to factor in what you want to make, and you got to know what the property will sell for fixed up. Now, if we're doing it virtual, you kind of can't go off of nothing but what the homeowner is telling you. It's a good rule of thumb, to multiply the square footage, with the information that the seller is giving you. If they can provide you with some pictures, that would be excellent as well. In the cases where we can't get out to property, just closed a property last month. I never even been to the property, not one day in my life. Property where I think we made 15 grand. So it happens. I've done it many of times. You can do it too. It just takes some effort behind it, and it takes you being aware and in the process, engaged in the process. Learning how to put your repair numbers together, things like that. But from that point, you can, you come up with your maximum allowed offer and just kind of walk yourself backwards. And, hopefully, however many numbers you go through, appointments, phone calls, or whatever, before you actually get the deal, keep a good track of that. You want to track your success ratio. That way you can determine how to scale your business. And once you get started, you can get a couple deals under your belt. You can probably subscribe to a different platform where you can track all this real time, and it's all calculated for you. But at that point, now you're on the other side of the equation. After you have agreed to the price with the homeowner, you have engaged in the contract, and you have got things to the title company. Now, all of this is in other videos I have available, breaking down just a little bit more, you're building your power team, stuff like that. On one of my cold calling videos, or one, previous video, just, how to actually go out, what you should be doing on a daily basis, who you should be calling. Go find that video. 3-5 things you should do to get your deal, or daily things to do. Calling realtors, calling attorneys, calling title companies, and this will be building your team. So you got your contract, you got it at the title company. Now, in the midst of all of that, we come to a phase where now it's time to sell the property. So the same exact way that you've went through the process of finding the seller and properties, you will turn around and use possibly even the same people who have helped you in the manner of acquiring it, whether that be the realtor or even the title company. The title company, now you got to think, the title company is the place where all these transactions take place. So they are very familiar with investors, and they have relationships with investors, people that they know can perform in an event that, people that's actually performing. So these are all resources, and that's why building relationships is so important. You can call up your title company and be like, hey, I'm running into a problem, trying to see if you can help me out. I know you might have some investors. Is there anyone you can refer me to that'll probably buy this property? They just want to get the process done. They only get paid if the property closes. So, of course, they want to make sure that you're successful. That's the only way they get paid. Now, you got to expect from people to actually operate in a manner of ethics and moral character, and most people do, man. Like, look, this whole stigma of, like, most people will actually go the extra mile to help you. So You just got to look at it from that standpoint. Like, people will go the extra mile. So reach out to your realtors and your title companies and just ask them, like, hey, who do you know that's possibly cash buyer that's looking for properties? They know people. Uh, I hadn't had to do that, but I know this to be true. I know it to be very true because I just understand what a title company does. So, and in all reality, I probably have had it happen uh, where um, a couple different occasions where the title company actually, uh, unbeknownst at the time, tried to undercut certain things, but that's a whole nother. But they know people. They know people, and they will perform for you. You just got to find the right ones and make it worth the while. Uh, so. Uh, And then you have other methods, like I say, the same way you find sellers with social media, you can also go into these groups and things like that. And in the region, in the area in which you have the property, you can go into these groups, Facebook groups, meetup groups, networking groups. You can type in any city within a certain radius of the property location. Just put, real estate group, a wholesaling group, or realtor forum, and you will find buyers, 100%. So this is another method of finding buyers literally with no money out of your pocket. So you've essentially been able to acquire and dispose of the property with maybe, um, you know, depending on how you write up your contract, $10 earnest money, $100 earnest money, whatever the case may be. Um, whatever if you're doing it virtual, you literally not even going to the title company, so there's no gas involved. Now if you you don't have computer and things like that, obviously you're going to different places. You might have to, print out some paper, So I don't know, but essentially you're literally no money out of pocket for the most part for these type of things. You've literally found the seller the same type of way. You know, Also another good way of finding buyers. Buyers. Craigslist. Plenty of people advertising on there, whether they be wholesalers or end buyers. I advertise on Craigslist uh, whenever I think about it. I just got ads that's expire, and I just repost them, refresh them. I don't on a regular basis, but it's something that I did probably over the last week. I started refreshing ads, posts from months ago. So it's just something where you all these places are free to get traction and to build your business. Now, as that's probably from start to finish a good quick method of explaining how to actually go out and get started. What I would do if I literally had no money, utilize all the free sites, county records, Zillow, Google Maps, uh, and I would literally drop a pin wherever I wanted to, and I would go in. It might take me 2 days, it might take me 5 days, it might take me 30 days. But I understand if I put in the effort, I can find a deal literally zero money out of pocket. And the only thing it takes is my time and my effort, my action. 100% unbiased, real life situations. If you go and look at my 5K to 30-day wholesaling video, I literally show you from that video how to go and no money out of pocket, find a deal. So, with that being said, man, I'm going to kill this video. I'm probably right at 30 minutes, but Hopefully this is something that's insightful. Next video I'll be doing is going through my purchasing contract. Now, over the years, I've tried them all from 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, and I landed on what I use every day, and essentially what every single title company in the state that I operate is familiar with. So I'll be going over that on my next video. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. You can drop some comments, man. I definitely appreciate some comments. Hit the thumbs up, smash the like button, and just let me know if it was useful for you. If you figure out that you can actually get started in this business with no money, let me just be the one to tell you again, it's very much possible. Now, if you want a breakdown of, hey, I got a budget of, let's just say, we break it down, you got a budget of $1,500, we can fast track your pace, But nevertheless, man, this your boy, Ja Vernon, aka Mr. Money Man, aka I do real estate, aka I'm an entrepreneur, giving you the news, the blues, and the clues to get your money right, get your life right, and ultimately put yourself in a position of winning. And like we like to say, man, it's no longer about the why. It's about what's the reason. What's the reason we do what we do. Change the narrative in the household, man. Put ourselves in a position of winning, man. Changing the mindset, changing the narrative. Creating a legacy that we'll be proud of. And just building, putting the work in, man, for the generations to come. So leaving something that they'll be proud for. Leaving something that they can look back and say, hey, somebody cared enough for us that they laid the foundation and laid the foundation for us. So, and that comes through doing the work now. So, with that being said, man, I'm going to give it to y'all, man. This, man, I know it's every bit of, man, it's 2:30 a.m., man. Monday morning, man. I'm going to upload this tomorrow, man, just to give, let y'all know it's real in the field, man. It's 2:30 a.m. I'm about to take out from the office. Probably by the time I make it home, stock market will just be opening. I'm going to make a couple trades, or I'm going to think about making a couple trades. I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to pass out, and I'll be right back at it 8 a.m. by the time the market's open. Right now, sleep is for suckers. And this video was inspired by David Never Sleeps, the Social Proof podcast. Social Proof. Look, man, the interview you did with Grant Cardone very much was a great interview. And it just put me on this, I gotta give back, man. I'm giving back. So if you went and looked at any of my latest videos, you will see that I got 1,000 free leads to anybody who go and follow the instructions on that video. Look, just go out, click on my subscribe tab, subscribe to the channel, go to videos and just follow down the latest videos, and you'll see 1,000 lead video. Follow the instructions in that video, man, and you got 1,000 leads at your disposal, free of charge, to help you get started. So, look, it's plenty of ways, man, just trying to give back, trying to let y'all know, look, we made all the mistakes, man. Take it from the big heads and follow the steps that we lay out, man, and you can shortcut this process. Cut this process in half, man. I don't have all the answers. I just have the knowledge of what I've done and what I've been able to obtain and witness. And we just keep it moving from there, man. So it's your boy, man. I'll see y'all a little bit later. Signing out. Peace. Love you. God bless. See you on the next one. Salute.